my god, you guys, I have so many articles opened up right now, and it's 5:11 a.m. in the morning, Tuesday, 5 October, and Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp is down. I decided to make a video about it because this whole thing actually got me so invested because it's so wild but so interesting to me, and I found out so many things from this and lessons we learn and things that people don't really think about when it comes to social media like this. So every night I will go on Twitter for a few minutes to half an hour maximum to check out what's happening after I deleted the app. And then I found out that Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram were down. And then my sister was also affected by it. She couldn't submit her homework and she couldn't even email her teacher either. She had no way to tell. Okay, so nothing really bad happened. I was just reading around. Of course, like everyone is making memes about it, like making memes about how Twitter is superior, Twitter never breaks down, and then like blah blah blah, memes and stuff. Twitter is for memes and stuff, right? And then for my timeline, I saw something from at Disclose TV. Just in, data of over 1.5 billion Facebook users is being sold on a popular hacking related forum. Data contains users' names, emails, phone numbers, locations, gender, and user ID. Then I was like, what? I quoted that tweet and I was like, what the frick? Like, I didn't know how to react, man. Like, what? Like, yeah, I was just shocked. And then I clicked in the article, and then turns out it clarified that whatever is in this article is unrelated to the global Facebook outage experienced on 4 October 2021. And this is the first thing I learned. This is about privacy and personal data being sold on the dark web. Coincidentally, I just watched The Mitchells versus the Machines, which is a very good underrated movie, by the way. You guys should watch it. Okay, so according to privacyaffairs.com, written by Miklos Zoltan, according to this article, earlier in 2021, there were 500 million users affected. Their personal data was being sold on the dark web, allegedly. People are saying it's a scam because after paying for the data, which was sold for really cheap, by the way, they didn't get anything back, but we don't really know the truth. And those data appears to be authentic according to the article. And those data were not obtained by hacking. Instead, they were obtained through web scraping, which is basically just scraping any personal information they can get from you that is public on your Facebook. Furthermore, there are also like fake quizzes, questionnaires, and stuff like that will actually give them access to your personal information. Like the take this quiz to find out when you will get married, those type of stuffs. I didn't know those were actually schemes to take personal data, honestly. I just thought they were like annoying and sometimes they would be really interesting. So this is kind of important to know, and I'm glad to know this now. Okay. Oh my gosh. The Facebook surveys and quizzes method of data scraping is actually illegal, even though it's popular. Interesting. So data leaks are kind of scary because according to this article by Your Anon Central, yac.news, at Your Anon Central on Twitter, they say that it is dangerous because having phone numbers, location, and users' full names allow criminals to select their targets more accurately, and the scraped data can be used to coordinate phishing attacks, social engineering attacks, spam attacks, or even offline attacks, which I think is so scary. Like, the data is sold for dirt cheap on the dark web. It's freaking scary, because people can use it to attack you in real life. Like, okay, so that was the first article I read, and then I was like, oh, okay. So it's unrelated to this outage. And then I saw a tweet from @BenjaminEnfield on Twitter that says, so someone deleted large sections of the routing. That doesn't mean Facebook is just down. From the looks of it, that means Facebook is gone? I liked that tweet, and then I quote tweeted it like, what? In all caps. Like, this is wild, okay? And then everyone in the comments were saying like, oh, it is good, it is great, like this is gonna be great. One user said that Facebook's not actually gone, just the way to get to Facebook is gone. And then there's a lot of tech stuff that I don't really understand. So if you know that, you can go read it. apart from people talking about how great it is that Facebook is going to be gone, basically, theoretically, if there were some people who were saying that this was good for disinformation. Yes, this was good for the polarization and radicalization of people, because the day before that there was an ex-product manager for Facebook. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she kind of exposed how the company knew that they were promoting harmful content and content that would actually polarize and radicalize people, because anger gets engagement and engagement leads to monetization. Like literally after a day, people are saying like it's kind of fishy that it's happening the day after this expose. Okay, so apart from people talking about how good it would be if Facebook was actually gone, there were some people who said it was good for disinformation, but not for people who actually only had Facebook to keep in touch with distant family members, etc. And then, did you know, in some places, like in Africa, people actually think Facebook is the whole internet. At Kofi Meritus, for many Facebook users in Africa, once the platform is down, the assumption is that the entire internet is down. Majority of folks think Facebook is the internet. That's the problem when Facebook tries to connect the unconnected in developing countries. And then I read the replies. Someone said that it's true because someone just asked, like, when is the internet going to be restored when it's just Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, right? They don't know a world beyond that. I'm not sure if it's a problem. Like, for now, I'm just trying to know more about it. So the person who tweeted that actually has a research that he co-led, a research about what is called free basics. Okay, so Facebook does not actually have to pay for any cost of this free basics thing. Basically, only the telecommunication companies are paying costs, and this deal between Facebook and the mobile data companies are just so that people would actually subscribe. That makes sense. And apparently, the features of the free basics are actually limited. Like, for example, you can't even see the pictures or videos you want to see on Facebook. Facebook doesn't really include their main competitors or government and public service websites with the free basics package. Some local websites and mostly Facebook's flagship websites. Yeah, so that's one thing. And then the next article that I read was from petapixel.com, and then it's saying that even the internal security system of Facebook isn't working. Like, a tweet from @Sheeraf, SHEERAF, says that she was on the phone with someone who works for Facebook and says that the employees can't enter the buildings because the access doors aren't working. They can't really check out like the outage and like what's happening. I also read the comments, and one of them said it was pretty inconvenient. There was a 9-day international event happening in their city, and it was the only way they could contact friends that they only get to see that time of the year, which is kind of sad. They don't get the phone numbers because Facebook is just easier to use. So the next comment is basically hope that this Facebook outage is for good, because they're tired of seeing people misinformed and believing every single thing on their Facebook feed. Oh my. Okay, so I haven't read the article by the New York Times, but now I'm reading it, and at first glance I'm just looking at like a few paragraphs, and it's saying that Facebook over and over again has shown it chooses profit over safety, according to Miss Hagen. She also said that Facebook knew that Instagram was worsening body image issues, but what do they care about? Money. And just similar to the way TikTok operates, they want content that is polarizing and angering so that people would engage, and engagement leads to monetization, as we said. So according to this thread by Alex Hearn, basically Facebook runs everything through Facebook, and the mistake that Facebook possibly made can't be fixed because Facebook runs Facebook through Facebook, but Facebook can't be accessed. Therefore, the problem can't be fixed, and wow. And like, you can't even access the smart card door lock and send a follow-up message to the routing. Okay, so we covered quite a few things. First thing that we covered is about personal data and the dangers of having our personal data being scraped or collected and sold to the dark web or dirt cheap. The The second thing that we covered is on Facebook and telecom companies linking together to give the free basics to African countries, and we have read questioning on whether it actually is beneficial to just give them access to Facebook, and then that links to people who were celebrating if Facebook was actually gone, and someone saying that it is good for disinformation and mental health, of course, but not good for communication, and long distance families may only have those three ways to communicate. I know a lot of people of with whom I can only communicate through Instagram. I don't have any sort of criticism or anything on that because I'm just gathering information right now. I think that's pretty much it. That pretty much covers it. It will be pretty interesting to see what happens later in the morning. Hi guys, it's 3:51 p.m. in the afternoon the next day, and here's an update about the Facebook situation. Apparently, there was a faulty configuration change according to Facebook. What? Can you imagine? Okay, first of all, a lot of businesses, small businesses, depend on social media a lot, and people are saying you guys really should make a website because, and people are beginning to not put all eggs into one basket by looking for how to run Google ads instead of just running ads on Facebook, and also having their businesses on websites rather than just Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. And then there is an argument that says that this is a good point, a talking point for not having Facebook basically have control of almost all major platforms of communication. Okay, and as for what got me invested in the first place, they didn't follow up. Now I'm like, what do I believe? Is this how things like that slip away? But also, how am I supposed to believe this? Maybe I'll link down updates when I find them and when they come out. It's just very interesting. Yeah, thank you for watching. I talked about this because it's Amira after all, and she gets interested in a lot of things, very easily amused. Goodbye, guys.